June 30th tournament, the second 5 hands, boards 6 through 10. Hand winners and plus winners, as we do on each hand. Well, as we can see, we have 3 clubs. A heart is 4, 2 spades is 5, 6, and ace of diamonds is 7. And we have a certain heart loser. I just don't see how you're going to keep yourself from losing a heart. So I would still say there's no hand loser, but eventually we're plus 1 loser, and we can't afford a club loser. So we got 1 hand loser. You could call the heart loser that you got to lose a hand loser if you want. It doesn't really matter. I'm sort of pedantic about it now. I would not call it 1, although I know it's 1. And since that gives us 10 winners, because can't afford to lose a heart, so we're going to win 6 clubs. And we need to set up two additional winners. Let's examine what we have and see if we can come up with a line of play where we will make if we only lose our heart. With this holding, if East holds the king of hearts, and hearts are divided 3-3, you can win 3 heart tricks, not just 1. By leading low towards the queen, if East ducks the king, you get it. This is called a lobbing finesse. We lead towards the queen and score the queen that way. You can get your 2 tricks and make your slam. And that will work if East holds the heart king third. And we're off to a great start. We have a line of play that can maybe give us our 2 extra tricks. With the spade holding, if West has both the missing queen and jack of spades, you can do a double finesse and win at least 1 extra trick without losing a trick. But you need 2 extra tricks. You could get 2 extra tricks in spades if West has the queen jack third of spades, because after you win a trick, the spade of 4 would be high. Or if West has specifically the spade queen jack 3-2. Why do I say the 3-2? Because that would mean East has the spade 7-6 doubleton, and so you can double finesse, lead the 10, he's got to cover, lead the 8, he's got to cover. And those drop the 6 and the 7 from East, setting up the 4, even when West has 4 spades. So you could get the 2 extra tricks you need in spades without touching hearts. Without any clues about East-West hands, hearts to split 3-3 about 35% of the time, and of those 35% of the time, East will have the king half the time, or about 17.5%. I've added in the chance that East holds the king jack or king 10 of hearts doubleton. Or West will hold both the queen and jack 24% of the time, so you could combine these chances. You could test if hearts are 3-3, and if they're not 3-3, then you can take the double finesse in spades against West. But let's review the bidding again. East opened 4 diamonds. So the one thing we know about the hand, because we do know something about the hand, is East has a lot of diamonds. Not only did he open 4 diamonds, when you bid 5 clubs, he felt comfortable enough to bid 5 diamonds. And West led the 3 of diamonds, and the diamond 2 is in dummy. What does that suggest? Well, the diamond 3 was the smallest diamond West could hold. And if he had 2 diamonds, we don't think he would lead small from, let's just pick one, say 5-3 of diamonds. He would lead the higher diamond, high from doubletons. If they lead low from doubletons, they're required by the ACBL to alert you that they do that. So we're pretty sure West has a singleton diamond. If West has a singleton diamond, East had 8 diamonds. Now we get thinking about the hand. If West had a singleton diamond. After you go to dummy, we'll say the ace king of clubs, how are you going to get back to your hand to pull the last trump? If you lead a diamond, West, if he had 3 clubs and he's out of diamonds, may be able to overruff you. And if you rough without the queen, might set up West jack third of clubs. So with a serious reentry to south hands, especially if, well, since the diamond 3 was a singleton, you have that problem. So we also have to have East holding not only 8 diamonds, he needs either 3 clubs, so that West will only have 2, and therefore West can't overruff, or East has to have the club jack. It can't be the jack singleton because we're also missing the 9 of clubs. He has to have the jack of clubs doubleton. And he has to have that so we can get back to our hand after we cash ace king of clubs, so we can pull the last trump. And what's the implication of that? If East had 8 diamonds and 3 clubs, he will not hold 3 hearts. And why is that? That is because if he had 8 diamonds and the 2 clubs that we require, that's 10 tricks. There's just enough room in his hand for three hearts. But if he had 3 hearts, that's all of his cards. That's 13 cards, and he would have a void in spades. And most bridge players play a convention called a Lightner double, and especially good bridge players. And that's where we're trying to get us to, is be good bridge players and know how to do this. If East had a void in spades, he'd have made a Lightner double. Since he didn't make a Lightner double, he's not void in spades. Of course, if East had a void in hearts, 8 diamonds, 3 spades, 2 clubs, he'd also make a Lightner double and hope his partner picks the right major lead at trick 1 so he can rough it. So if we make the assumption that East is not void in spades, or that East is not void in hearts, hearts cannot be 3-3. So our hope for the 3-3 heart split has sort of faded away. There's another implication. Since we know 10 cards in East's hand, or we hope we know 10 cards in East's hand, he has to have at least 2 clubs to the jack, or 3 clubs, which is even worse. The heart play isn't going to gain us the tricks that we need. If you're thinking along these lines, you're going to do something odd at trick 2. You're going to lead a spade. So having 1 ace of diamonds, you're not going to lead a club to the king right away. You're going to go ahead and take the double finesse in spades. You might lead the 10, you might lead the 8. The advantage of the 8 is West might not cover even if he has the queen jack. And take the double finesse right away. But West is going to cover to make it harder for you. Now you hold your breath and you cash 2 clubs. Jack fell, that's good. There's only 1 club out, and now you can afford to rough. We're pretty sure West has this club, but you can rough with the queen or the 10, rough a diamond to get back to your hand to pull the last trump. And now you pull the last trump. And if spades are a 3-3, which we know they're not because we've already seen there was no light nor double. But if spades are 3-3, you got it made. But if spades are not 3-3, we now have another line of play, and that is don't play East for the king of hearts. It's very unlikely he's going to have king of hearts anyway, because he's had 1 spade already. The most hearts he can have is 2. So the odds are already, we know West had at least 4 hearts, and that's not even worrying about the finesse. East might have only 1 heart. So the odds are the king of hearts is going to be with West, but that's actually a good thing for us because now we can force West to come down. We can play another 2 rounds of trumps. We don't need the extra trumps. So we can play the high trump. We'll show you the cards. And West throws away a heart. He's got to keep his is at least 3 spades. And now we cash the last trump, and we throw a heart off dummy. And now we want to unblock the 10 of spades. We want to force West to cover the 10 of spades. So the 9 will be set up while we're in dummy. So we lead our last spade, the 10 of spades he has to cover. And here we cash the 9 of spades. Now if there's still 2 spades out, if West had thrown a heart earlier instead of a spade, and you're still missing 2 spades, you cash the ace of hearts and hope the king of hearts falls in West. If West still has a spade, you throw him in with a spade and force him to lead away from the king of hearts. If he leads a low heart, we win the queen. If he leads the king, we win the ace and then the queen. So you find the end play. It's fairly routine play as long as you can think that you got to take the double finesse in spades. Once you get that part of the problem solved, the winning line isn't so hard to find. Another option is to play West for queen jack 7-2 or 6-2 and finesse him for not only the queen jack but eventually for the middle spade as well. Okay, here's one again. What's your winners and losers? 1 club, 2 diamonds, a spade, and 2 hearts. Yep, 6 winners. So you need to establish 6 winning tricks. As of now, you have no hand losers, so you're +1 loser. You can afford to lose a trick. And in heart, should we find the heart queen, we will win 3 extra heart tricks. We'll get 5 instead of 6, 5 instead of 2. Even if we don't find the queen of hearts, we're going to win 4 hearts. So this +6 is surely going to be reduced by some. So one thing we could do is we could play low from dummy, hope East underlet a doubleton king of clubs. That doesn't seem very likely. People don't lead low from doubleton king, so you might have been wanting to put you to guess. Can we make the hand by winning the ace? Well, and let's look at spades. In spades, we can gain 1 trick by leading towards the queen of spades, but then we lose. That's that 1 loser we can afford. And if king of clubs were sunk, because 1 extra spade does us no good, even if we take all the hearts. And we can rough a diamond and dummy, but we were already counting on all those long hearts to be winners. That's not going to gain a trick for us. So what we're hoping for is to win 3 extra trump tricks, no extra tricks in diamonds for sure, and we don't think we're going to win an extra trick in spades. So we might drop to singleton kings, not something we're going to hope for. Clubs to singleton, we cannot afford to play low from dummy anyways. East will win the king, give his partner a club rough, and it's sayonara. He's not going to lead the 8 from king 10, 8 small, so East isn't going to rough the ace of clubs. We can win 3 extra club tricks because there's only 2 clubs out after we win the ace. The queen jack will lose 1 to the king, and you pick up all the clubs, so you get 4 club tricks instead of 1. And if you find the queen of hearts, that's your 6 extra tricks. But you can't afford to lose a heart to the queen. So let's see how you might play this hand as an interesting problem coming up. So here we have to consider how to play trumps. We could try to drop the doubleton queen, but that's against the odds. So here, if East had played the 10, so how are we going to play hearts? Missing 5 hearts. This is an 8 ever, 9 never situation. Are we going to play to drop the queen of hearts doubleton? No. If West started with the A6 doubleton and East with the king 10 doubleton, and he plays the club 10, we have no useful distribution data, so it's a pure guess who to finesse. If West had a singleton 8 of clubs, vacant space might alter your play. If because then West would have, in this situation, West would have 12 spaces, 12 spaces to hold the queen. To East is 10 spaces to hold the queen. He would have Singleton Club. He has 12 other cards. 3 clubs. He has 10 other cards. If the suit is 2-2, they both have 11 other spaces to hold the queen, so there's no difference. But with vacant spaces, if he had a Singleton, he has 12 spaces. It's 12 to 10. He's a favorite. We don't have to do the percentage. He's more likely by a little bit to have the Queen of Hearts. If you want to calculate the actual percentage chance West has the Queen of Hearts, it's 12 divided. He has 12 vacant spaces divided by the total number of spaces, which is 22. 12 plus 10 is 22. That comes out to be 54%. I usually just stop here. I don't try to figure out the exact percentage at the table. I just know that 12 is bigger than 10. 1 card difference I don't pay any attention to. 2 card difference, you think about it. Are we sure West holds a Singleton? If East had played the 10 automatically, to say good lead partner, or played a 10 from King 10 Dublin because he couldn't afford to play the King, we wouldn't know for sure if he had the King 10 Doubleton or the King 10 6. So the 10 would leave us guessing. A player who always plays the 6 from 3 small, or anytime he holds the 6, would also tell us that West had a Singleton 8. A good player holding King 10 6 might play the 10 to keep you from getting count on the club suit, or from King 10 Doubleton, of course, he'd always play the 10. What you do is a guess when you see the 10. You don't know how the suit divides. But we didn't see the 10. If a good player plays the 10 from King 10 6, we don't know for sure whether it's a Singleton or Doubleton. But if a good player plays the 6 from King 10 6, he might play the 10 from King 10 6 to keep you from knowing. So you would think that this is a possibility, and you should guess how to play the heart suit. But if he plays the 10 from King 10 6, he would do that if he had the Queen of Hearts Doubleton or Tripleton to try to keep you from finessing him. Because if you knew East had 3 spades to the King 10 6, and East is a reasonable player who would know to signal attitude, or who would know not to let you get to count on the hand, after East plays the 6 of spades, 6 of clubs here. So who are we going to finesse in? Let's look at the previous trick. So who are we going to finesse in hearts? Well, if East is a good player, a reasonable player, ask yourself why he went out of his way to tell you he had 3 clubs to the King 10 6, and that if West had a Singleton, West had a Singleton. And normally I would use vacant space. And when West led the 8, I hadn't made up my mind. So I would go ahead and finesse West for the Queen of Hearts. But against a reasonable player in East, a strong player, he would never play low, in this case the 6, to show me the count when he lacks the Heart Queen. Again, this is spy versus spy. I would assume he was giving me count in clubs to get me to play hearts for him having the queen. Because he knows he's going to get a club trick, and he wants to set me astray in hearts. So I start with the King of Hearts in case someone's kind enough to hold Queen of Hearts stiff, or if I felt strong enough about it, I would just run the 10 of Hearts in case he had 4 hearts to the 4 hearts to the Queen. But to simplify it, we'll play the Queen, and then we'll take the Heart finesse. And when Hearts split 2-2, we cash the Ace of Hearts. Now this, against the robot, he's going to play the King 10, the 10 and the 6 randomly. But as your game gets better, you might consider, as a defender, the little trick to try to throw Declare off if he counts vacant spaces. Or as Declarer, you don't want to let what the opponent's choice of cards influence your line of play. Although here we did his choice of the 6, it was spy versus spy. If he knew you knew enough that he might play, then you backdoor as a guess again. If he knew you knew he shouldn't play the 6 from a 3-card holding, he might play the 6 to double cross you. So I try not to let that stuff influence me. I went back to playing it that way. I didn't show you the hands. I'll show you the hands. There's the full hands. If an average player played the 6, I would go ahead and finesse West for the Queen. So here we're on another hand. We're going to do the losers and winners. We've got 6 diamonds, 2 spades, and a club. West has a bunch of clubs. He might have 7 clubs, in which case East would have a doubleton, 7-2-2-2. A heart loser is unavoidable. We certainly can't throw all those hearts off dummy, and there's nothing in dummy we can set up to throw our heart away. So we have one hand loser, which is the Ace of Hearts. Our plus losers have to be 0, 6 diamonds, 2 spades, 1 club. We can get those 2 winners in the form of the King, Queen of Hearts, if we keep an entry to dummy so we can get to them. This is where magic comes in, some things you might want to consider. As usual, we try to analyze what we know about their hands. And one thing we know is West is really long in clubs, that 5 club bid. So here's what's the maximum number of clubs? West's maximum number of clubs. And the answer is, for West to have a maximum number of clubs, East would have 0. I don't do the how 8 suit distribution. When somebody's 8, I don't automatically know the other things, or 9 or 10. But I do know that if West started with 7 clubs, clubs would be 7-2-2-2. If you started with 8 clubs, East would have 1 less, so it'd be 8-2-2-1. If you started with 9 clubs, it'd be 9-2-2-0. So the maximum number of clubs West could hold is 9. I'm not going to push it, but 9 is the right. We can say tell me, so it will tell you that the answer is 9. So when we're going to win this club in case he had 8 clubs. East is better follower. He's going to rough, and they're going to get the Ace of Trumps. So the maximum number for us to make the contract is 8. It's a different kind of maximum. So we're going to play low from dummy, and East followed with the 3. So I suspect he could have the 3-2 doubleton. If West is really an aggressive bidder of King, Queen, Jack, or King, Queen, 10, 7th, he might open. But if he's got two clubs, you're doomed, because you're going to lose a club and a heart. But now you just want to play, it's really easy. You just want to play East for the Ace of Hearts. You won't have a club to lead back. So, but is that enough? So here's what I said. If East had exactly 1 club plus the Ace of Hearts, we can establish 2 hearts to discard or any other concerns. And the answer is yes. We actually have 3 losers in our hand. We can throw 2 cards away on the king queen. We throw away 2 spades. We lose a club and a heart. We can throw away 2 hearts. So we're going to need to ruff a spade and dummy just to make sure we don't, if hearts split bad. I mean, we could have hearts. Hearts might run, but East could easily have 5 hearts at the ace-10. So we need to establish a 3rd heart winner, maybe by ruffing 1 and going back to dummy. And we need to ruff a spade and dummy. So the thing you have to remember is don't just pull trumps and lead the jack of hearts. You're going to need at least 1 trump in dummy when you lead the jack of hearts to get to the heart suit. So the most you can do is pull 2 rounds of trumps. But there's a problem with pulling 2 rounds of trumps. If East has 3 trumps, 6, 3, 3, 1, in the ace of hearts, you win the ace of hearts, and he'll lead a trump. And then you're not going to be able to ruff a spade in dummy. You're not going to be able to get back to the king, queen of hearts. So we're going to pull just 1 round of trumps. Now that we've played 1 round of trumps, we need to decide, do we want to go ahead and try to ruff a spade now? You still could run into a singleton spade in the west. So best to go ahead and knock out the ace of hearts now while you can. And should East return a heart, we can ruff high and cross the dummy. And if West shows out of hearts, you can still get your spade ruffed. If East returns a heart, we're going to ruff with the jack. Pull 1 more round of trumps. Let's see what East returns. If he returns a diamond, the road is clear. Either West will have another diamond or he won't. If he returns a heart, we'll ruff high. And if diamond to dummy, if West follows to the heart, we can ruff a heart and go back to dummy, and all the hearts will be good. We don't need a spade ruff. So here's what we'll do. You'll pitch a club on the king of hearts if both follow safely. So return a spade. So okay, 2 more hands to go. Here we are, moving on to board 9. So the open leads a spade, and they win the king, and you're in 6 hearts doubled by East. So let's count our winners and losers. We have 6 hearts, 3 clubs, and 2 diamonds. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 11 tricks. We need 12. And we have 1 hand loser, which we have lost right on the get-go. So we need all the rest of the tricks. So here's a long, big write-up about where you're going to get your tricks. You're really not going to take more than 3 club tricks. You've got a chance for trick in spades. You've got a chance for trick in diamonds. And you're going to win your 6 hearts. So there's actually 3 potential ways to gain 1 trick. I guess you see all 3 of them. One is you can try to get a trick in diamonds by dropping the queen of diamonds, singleton or doubleton, or by successfully finessing for the queen of diamonds. In spades, you can take a roughing finesse through the opening leader by leading the queen, or if it doesn't rough that one, lead the jack. See if you can trick him into covering one of them if he's got the king. Or, and the 9 is equally high as the queen and jack since the 10 was singleton. Or you can try to drop the king of spades. Ace of spades is the one that's missing. Drop the ace of spades in East hand by roughing up to 3 spades, and if the ace falls, then the last spade is good. So if you felt strongly that West underled the ace of spades at trick 1, you could actually try to drop the doubleton queen of diamonds first and filling that, and then take the roughing finesse. But realistically, let's be honest, people don't lead away from underlead aces at small slams. It would have cost East nothing to play the ace of spades at trick 1, because people will unlead a king, and that would leave you with a quandary over who to play for the missing ace. But here you should be pretty sure that the ace is an East hand, and that certainty is going to be useful because there's two lines of play. You can try to rough out the ace of spades by roughing spades and dummy, and if that fails, cash one diamond and then take the diamond finesse. Or you can try to, take diamond finesse. Or you can try to drop the queen of diamonds with the ace king of diamonds, and if that doesn't drop the queen, take the spade finesse through west. And mathematically, it's a no-brainer. It's much more likely that you'll drop the queen of diamonds doubleton or singleton than it is you'll drop the ace of spades doubleton or tripleton. And so you can look at the mathematics of it. Drop the doubleton queen is about 18, or singleton queen, about 18.6%. So 50% of what's left is 59.3%. Dropped ace king in 3 rounds in spades is very low, about 2.8%. And then the successful diamond finesse would be half of what's left after you didn't drop the ace, king of spades in 3 rounds, about 51.4%. But like an earlier hand, if you're convinced, and I would be convinced, West didn't unlead the ace of spades, even though this is much better odds than dropping the doubleton queen of spades, than dropping the ace king of spades, dropping the doubleton queen of diamonds. I'm sorry. I would play that way. So that's what you're going to have to decide. So East won the first trick and returned to diamond, and so now I've already let the cat out of the bag, but you have to decide whether you want to play. You want to combine your chances of in spades before you take the play in diamonds. So I would, lead the queen of spades out. If West covers the king, great, and you're good. I'm going to rough high, even though it's unlikely that anybody's going to rough that one. You got plenty of trumps. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull trumps. And now I'm going to do one more spade rough. And if it doesn't fall, I'm going to take the diamond finesse. Okay, well, the ace of spades fell. And so I don't need to take the diamond finesse anymore because um, I've got a good spade, 3 good clubs, a good diamond, and a good heart. That's all the remaining tricks. That gives me 12 tricks. We've won 5. I've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Is that right? Oh, yeah, I'm going to throw a diamond. Throw a diamond on the king of clubs. Throw a diamond on the 9 of spades and rough a diamond. I get to 2 trumps. So that was board 9. Now let's look at board 10. On board 10, you get the king of spades opening lead. And we want to count our winners and losers and see what we've got. We've got 1 club. We'll come back to how many we can actually win in a minute. 1 club, 1 heart, and 2 diamonds. No, I'm sorry, we got the queen of diamonds. 3 diamonds. 3 diamonds. A heart is 4. Club is 5. 3 diamonds. A heart and a club, yeah. 5 tricks. So we need like 7 or something. So let's look at it. We have there's no doubt we have to lose a club. We're missing the king, queen, and 2 more. We're not going to crash the king and queen together. So we can't afford to lose a heart. So the first thing we know, without going too far, is we're not going to be able to throw 5 hearts out of our hand on anything in dummy. So we're going to need the heart finesse to win. So first things first, we got to win. We got to hold our club losers to 1, and we got to avoid a heart loser. So let's see which play looks best. I'll discuss some of that. But now we have taken into account the auction. West overcalled a spade. You give him at least 5 spades for his overcall. They have a total of 9 spades. East avoided spades. So let's give him at least 3 for his raise. 5 and 3 is 8. So spades can be divided 6 in west, 3 in east, 5 in west, 4 in east. You don't know. But east had enough to raise over no trump where double would be, it can maybe doubled in a no trump. So he's got some values there. He's not voting on air, and one of his values has to be the king of hearts. We don't know what else he has, but he's got at least the king of hearts. Hope it's not a void in clubs for his bid. What's the chances West has a singleton ace of king of hearts? Well, if he had 5 spades, it's not very good. It's about 1.5%. Interesting, and I've always found this interesting. If he had 6 spades, the odds are better he has a singleton king than if he had 5 spades. And that's not because the king got more likely to get in his hand. If he had 6 spades, he's more likely to have a singleton spade to begin with. And so if he had a singleton spade, it's the same one out of, let's see, they've got 5. No, they got 6. They got 6 spades. 1 out of 6 possible spades he could have if he has a singleton, but he's more likely to have a singleton, which accounts for the increased chances he's got a singleton king. An oddity. Anyway, so you're going to rough the first trick without a doubt. So now you're in your hand, and so you will need to come with the best way to play clubs. If you can cash the ace, and if the king or queen falls, you're fine. But it's not unreasonable. You want to protect against the east having king queen third. So the idea is maybe finesse them twice. You lead a diamond to dummy, and it doesn't matter between. I lead the jack, and because if East has that, you could lead the 8. If East had the king queen third in Dutch, you just run it. So he plays the king. So that has solved your club loser. You're still going to lose a club, but you don't lose 2 clubs. So now you need to plan how to play the rest of the hand to win 12 tricks. So the big question is, at this point, what card do you lead from your hand? And I picked a high and low club, a high and low heart, and the queen of diamonds. What do you lead? Well, I'm just going to hit the tell me. I know it's going to be the queen of diamonds. Let's see if it tells us. It's the queen of diamonds. And the reason why is you're not going to worry about, you don't need a 1 heart pitch on the king of diamonds, won't do you any good. But you do need to take the finesse in hearts. So you overtake the queen of diamonds, which a lot of people won't do because they just won't think of that because they don't have the experience. But hopefully you're going to be able to do this automatically going forward because you need the finesse in hearts. So you lead the queen, and if East covers, that'd be wonderful. If you need East to have king, but he could have king doubleton, that's fine. King tripleton, that's even better. King to the 4th, you got somewhat of a problem because East will be able to rough in front of you. Of course, you rough with the 8 and dummy, that's good. So you lead the queen of hearts, and it wins. Another finesse in hearts, it wins. Now, if West is out of hearts, East will have 2. The suit would be 5, 4, 2, 2. But West would be roughing in front of dummy. So if you lead the 2 of hearts, don't lead the ace. If you lead the 2 of hearts, if West roughs with the queen, fine. Pitch a diamond or something, and you're good. If West roughs low, you just over rough, and there's only 1 trump left out, and you just leave that trump out. Rough something out your hand and just play your hearts. Let them take the trump whenever you want. So you lead a small heart. He can't rough because he didn't have a trump. You rough, and now you just can pull trumps. The king of hearts is going to fall on the ace now. 5, 4, 5, 5, 4, 2, 2. So he's only got 1 left. Your ace will catch it. So you could, for example, just go ahead and lead the club, let him take his ace, and let him take his master trump now. Win the next trick and pull his last trump and claim. So that's it. If you liked sort of the movie within a movie, I can maybe work on this presentation a little bit. Hit the like button below. Let me know. I see one yesterday or Monday. From Monday, somebody didn't like it. They didn't say why. I wish I knew why. Or you could write a comment below the video just to let me know that it's worth something to you. Or drop me an email. Or if you know who I am and you've got my phone number, a lot of you do, just give me a call and say I like it. Or you could, Ben, you should change this, you should change that. That'd be fine. In addition, if you're not a member of the Jacksonville School of Bridge, you're not a member of the Amelia Island Duplicate Bridge Club, and you're not a member of the Bradenton Bridge Association, and you want to play in these weekend things, subscribe to the channel. Not quite yet. Hit the subscribe button and provide me with your BBO username, and I will add you to the list of friends so you can play in the weekend-long Chest Declare events that we run every weekend. And should you be not be a member of the club, if you ever visit Northeast Florida, stop by and play a round of bridge with us at the club. We're looking forward to your visit, visiting with you when you are in Florida. See you next week.